Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. If you are new to our channel, subscribe, drop this video a like, and get involved in our predicted lineup episode on our website and share it on social media. Fully interactive episode, so get involved. We are on the road to 9,000 subscribers. Getting there to 10 would be my ultimate aim. So if you do dip in and out of us, just subscribe. Means the world to all of us. In everything that we do on this channel, we put our heart and soul into it. So if you could just help support us by subscribing, that would be highly, highly appreciated from myself. Welcome back, Hannah and Ryan, to the channel. A little bit of news on the North Stand, Villa Park. We've got the pictures of the proposed plans that are sort of doing the rounds a little bit. So I thought I'd share them on the screen with you and just get Hannah and Ryan's thoughts on some of the images. So Ryan, what do you make of the new plans?
Looks very good to me. It's a lot of consideration has gone into the fan experience that we're all sort of craving down Villa Park, really. For as long as I've gone down there, which is a long time, I've always just dipped in and out. Literally got there just before kick-off and dipped straight out after. So it'll be nice just to have a bit more match day experience and have a whole day of it. Do you know what I mean? I've said enough times that I love the build up to a game, no matter what sort of form we're in. I'm a blindly optimistic fan, and I'll fancy us against anyone a couple of hours before the game, and I've got a couple of beers down me, so I love all that. So to make the most of that now, just looks brilliant. The Villa Live looks fantastic, and like the North Stand wrapping it around the Trinity, just it's gonna tie us all in, and because it's a bit open, that them two ends, but when that closes up as well, we could make it a proper cauldron. And then if the North Stand can sort of replicate the noise that comes from the Holt end, then it should whip around that ground, and we can really make it a force.
Yeah, the size of it just looks enormous, doesn't it? Hannah, what are your thoughts on the proposed plans then?
Yeah, I think the main thing that stands out is obviously, for me, going to be what's happening actually outside the ground. So Ryan touched on the Villa Live experience. I think everything that goes on, all the money they're chucking into it now, will in turn create such a good atmosphere when you're attending Villa Park. Obviously, at the minute, we like to believe that it's a good day out, but having that extra fan engagement, I think, will be brilliant, and everyone will be really excited by it. I think having the sort of filled in corners was something that people were never too sure about. It probably splits some opinions, because lots of people like the freestanding stands, but I think it looks great. I mean, you got probably a better idea from some of the computer generated things they posted earlier in the summer, but when you start seeing these proper plotted out blueprints, or whatever you want to call them, it makes it feel real, and it is really exciting. I think we'll really get a taste of it once we start seeing the construction work next year, and you sort of start to get the scope of how big it's going to be, and it will be like, wow, that's going to be amazing. I sit in the Trinity, so it's going to be right next to me on the left, and I'm really excited for it.
I mean, this one for me, you get a real scale of how big the thing's going to be, because you look at the Holt end, and it's being dwarfed, isn't it now, by that North Stand? There looks like there's a little corporate bit in the centre, and if you can notice on this one, the tunnel's moved, hasn't it? I did hear rumours that they did want to move the changing rooms at Villa Park, so the tunnel now looks like it's right in that corner flag, as opposed to being opposite sort of like the 6-yard box. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a weird one, seeing them coming out from that corner, isn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely. For years, it's always been that little area of the Trinity. Even when it was the old Trinity Road, it was still there. So yeah, times are changing, aren't they?
I thought I heard at the game on Saturday they were promoting some kind of event at Villa Park. I'm sure they said something about a tour around the new dressing room, which sort of perked my interest, because I know that we'd heard that they wanted to improve the home dressing room, but I don't know if it's already happened because I'm sure I heard something about it. But either way, I think that's probably not just coming from the club, but I think that's probably coming from management as well, wanting a new dressing room as just another part of, obviously the Villa Park plans are mostly for us as the fans, but to improve what's actually for the facilities for the players in the ground, I think that will be good as well. I quite like the tunnel at the minute. As Matt Target once said, it's a big tunnel, so I hope they keep that. But other than that, it should be good.
I hope they haven't changed the dressing room yet, because I did, when we was playing there, I did sign my name under Tyrone Mings' seat. So hopefully that's not been ripped out already a couple of months down the line. But we were lucky enough to use that changing room before the game that we played. And it was incredible, the showers, facilities and stuff like that. But it's still felt a little bit dingy, for a Premier League club when you was getting changed next to each other. It was very close, and I just thought, it could be a bit bigger, a bit more state of the art. So I wouldn't be surprised if it did get changed, to be fair.
So while you've had your feet up on the Lilo, Ryan, what have you made of Villa?
What have I missed, mate? What have I missed?
Not playing central, mate.
Flipping 1.5, mate. 1.5. I didn't have a lot of. I was just saying off air, I didn't have a lot of Wi-Fi, but when I did, Jesus Christ, Twitter was a cesspit, wasn't it? Picked the right 2 weeks to go on holiday, but hopefully it's been a positive week so far, hasn't it? I think the City result has cheered everybody up, and we head into this game on Saturday a lot more positive. The performances and everything that's gone on at the start of the season has been, it's just been such a letdown. It's been poor, hasn't it? But it feels like a fresh start, really. It feels like a breath of fresh air has just breezed through the fan base, and we're optimistic again heading to Leicester. But fucking hell, being a Villa fan, you just know that we're like Robin Hood of the Premier League, ain't we? We'll rob off the rich, we have a point off Man City, then go and give it to the poor Leicester who haven't won a game all season, and that is completely Aston Villa. So hopefully we book that trend and we go there in confidence and a bit of swagger about us, and we go and attack a wounded Leicester City. They're disgruntled, aren't they? They're all over the shop. For the last, I don't know what, 6 or 7 years, they've been organised. They've been on the ball. If they lose a top player, they've got the next one lined up. And I don't know what's happened to them over the last 18 months. Maybe they've lost a couple of players this summer, and no signs of replacement. You've lost legends in Schmeichel that set the tone, set the precedent around the dressing room and the standards. And Jamie Vardy's sort of coming to the end of his time. He's not explosive as he used to be. And I don't know, it just feels like they're transitioning, but they've not got the backup plan that they've always sort of had. So, I'm hoping to reap some more misery onto them, to be fair, and land at the King Power and come back with 3 points.
So I did the match preview on my own the other day, and I offered my thoughts. Hopefully everybody's watched it. But Hannah, are you confident going into this one?
I am. And the last time I said that.
Are you just in disguise because he's not here?
I think every time I say I'm confident, something seems to come and bite me on the bottom afterwards. But I think what this team is just screaming out for is just confidence at the minute. It feels like the last few weeks, the whole season, even eking into the end of last season, we've just had this little growing rot, and it's just felt like it was growing bit by bit, and everyone, the unrest was coming from the fan base, and everyone's coming into question the management, the ownership, the CEO, and it felt like it was growing. There was a little black hole. And you just get one result like that. It wasn't even a win, but it was a great performance full of character and passion. You get one of those, and immediately everything seems a lot more positive, like Ryan's saying. So I feel positive, and I think the mood in those post-match interviews, that even the players were acknowledging how much they needed that boost. If you can go toe-to-toe with Man City and hold them to it, and potentially at some points, perhaps we could have got all 3 points. We can debate that another day. You can do it against anyone, really. Like, you've got to go into the game with that mentality. So why can we not go to the King Power on Saturday and win. They are in a dire state. If there's any team that we think we can be better than, it should be Leicester, which is famous last words, really, isn't it? So we'll see, but we've got to do it. And the good thing is, so far, Brendan Rodgers is still in the job, because if they'd sacked him, I wouldn't have been confident. But they're not going to have a no or new manager bounce, and they've not obviously got any new players. I think they signed one player. They're battling with FFP. They're in a dire state. We need to go and exploit that and kickstart the season. I think those might be Justin's words, but the season has to start this weekend with another win, to add to the one we've already got and the point against City. And then hopefully we can kick on, because to be fair, then the next few fixtures we should be looking at as positives as well. But that's enough previewing from me.
Definitely. Right. So let's have a look at the team that is going to beat Leicester. So head over to utvpodcast.co.uk. You're going under Social Hub. You're going on Lineup Selector. Right. So you are going to scroll down a little bit. Here is your team. You can change the formation to whatever one you want to go with, but we're going to go with the team that did so well against Manchester City. Same formation, can't see it changing. So we'll go with a team that we would like to see, as opposed to what we think he's going to go with. But I'm guessing we're probably going to go with something similar to the team that did so well against Manchester City. So Hannah, you can do the defence then, involving Martinez as well. So what's your back four? Why? What are your reasonings? Etc. Your mic's off, Hannah.
Amateur mistake. You can tell I've not been on here for a while. I think the biggest point of debate is going to obviously be at right back. Not sure. I've not seen an update on Matty Cash, if he's back training. I'm not sure. But I've got to say, I mean, when we saw him pulling up with injury on Saturday night, I did think, oh, it was Ashley Young. And as much as I like him, I just thought, oh God, he's not quite got the legs of that Phil Foden has. But he did amazing, didn't he? He did so well. So more than happy to see Ashley Young in the right back position. I just think he's just got something about him, hasn't he? He felt calm, and I think we really needed that, to be fair. At a time where things have looked quite shaky at the back, I do think he brought a sense of calm. So happy to have him there, and I would keep Conza Mings and Luca Dean as well. We've had too many centre back partnerships already this season. Obviously, with Carlos injured now, we've got Bednarek in. Callum Chambers seems to drop in and out, but I think you don't knock the Conza Mings partnership after that game. I think they did pretty well. I mean, they were defending against Man City, and I think they kept them mostly quiet. So I'd stick with that. I think that we're comfortable with that back line.
Yeah, I've seen a bit of chat about Bednarek coming in, but I do still feel like Conza is a little bit ropey at the minute. But I think coming off the back of that one that against City, I just think confidence is high. Let's not just try and play players out of that bit of form when we sort of, what are you happy with that defence, Ryan? Centre back sort of.
I've got a feeling it might be Bednarek. Why bring him in on loan if you're not going to play him? I think he likes that stature. He's a big guy, and I just don't know whether he fully trusts Conza. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough decision. Conza, to me, the last 18 months now, he's really struggled with his confidence. He doesn't seem the type of player he was under Dino. And then obviously we've got the new signing, so I think he might come in. I do think Bednarek might start and then try and build a partnership with Mings.
Yeah,
I don't disagree on the Conza point. And a week ago I would have said just whack Bednarek straight in, but it's that point, Luke. It's like we can't keep swapping and changing players, especially after a good
It's just
performance.
unsettling, isn't it? It's so unsettling.
Well, to be fair, we've had it all season, haven't we? We've pretty much had a different partnership every single game. So if Gerrard has got in his mind that it is Bednarek and Mings, then I think he won't mess around and he'll get him in. If that is going to be his partnership moving forward now, I think he'll get him in early and let it settle down. But if it is Konza, he did pick Konza up quite a bit when he first come in. So, and he's picked him at the start of the season when we all thought he'd never, and we all thought Chambers would be the man in, and Chambers is not even getting a stiff, and he had a good pre-season, and I do like Chambers. He's very technical and he's a classy player, but he has gone for Konza every time. So I think we'll know more about the partnership moving forward after tomorrow's after Saturday's selection.
Yeah, well, we'll stick with Konza. Hannah picked Konza, so we go and move Konza. So Ryan, your midfield three. I'm guessing the right-hand side is where there might be a bit of debate.
Right. I think there's going to be a bit of a shake-up in this midfield, even though we had a solid performance against Manchester City. Right, let's start on the left-hand side. Douglas Luiz. I thought he was brilliant against Manchester City. All the talk about his move to Arsenal falling through, he could have easily dropped his head, but he never come out and done a sensational performance. I don't know where we go with that now. So hopefully, if he stays in the team, then that's going to convince him to stay. I think we've got until the World Cup to try and convince him. Because come January, really, I think he's free to sign a pre-contract with anybody and leave for free in the summer. So it's a £25 million gamble, really, isn't it, to try and convince him to stay? So I think now he's in that team, now he's in that favoured number 8 role. He can really feel part of the squad and an important player because he's been played out of position. He's got sniff at number 8, done really well last season, and he was back at number 6 or 8 the team. So it's about him now cementing that place in midfield, and I think his partnership with Kamara is growing. Them two are on like a wavelength. I think they're really enjoying playing together. I think they're similar ilk technically. But Luke, before you go pressing, I
know what you're doing. I know what you're going with.
I think I'm going to put him on the right hand side.
Yeah,
Kamara.
You're putting Dendon Holding.
Yes.
I knew you were going to do that. You've been watching them training videos, ain't you?
What, with him going with his one-on-ones and turning defenders inside and out and slotting it past the keeper?
What's he doing?
I don't know, but I always remember Gerrard sort of saying when he first arrived that he's like a dynamic midfielder and he's comfortable in an 8 position and a 6 and then playing centre back. So that's always sort of stuck with me in an 8. So I'm thinking just my little inkling that Kamara might be in the 8 role with Dougie.
Yeah, I have got a feeling that this may be pending. Because
but then I've left McGinn out, so obviously this is a big talking point, isn't it? And I feel like with McGinn, you take him out, even though for the last 6 to 8 months his form hasn't been great, and he's had bad spells like this before, and always sort of played back into form. Smith's always stuck with him. Gerrard has stuck with him. Gerrard's obviously made him captain, which makes it a little bit more awkward to drop him. And sometimes I feel like, McGinn needs a break, take him out of it. But then sometimes you miss him. You take him out and you'll miss him. It's like Mings, and you drop Mings, and all of a sudden, flipping out, we miss him. Get him back in. So I feel like it could go that way with McGinn. But if we were to sign McGinn in the summer, I don't know, 10 million, we'd be disappointed right now, and you probably wouldn't pick him in your starting 11. It's only because of the journey he's been on and the love affair we have for him and how close we hold him to our hearts that we always back him. We always back him to come good, and he always gives 100%. But I just feel form wise, if you was to put all emotional attachment to one side, I don't think. Well, I haven't put him in midfield, and I don't think the majority of Villa fans would.
Nah, I totally get what you're saying, and this lineup is a little tweak in central midfield, isn't it? What I would say about Dougie Luiz is I think we're going to see the best version of Luiz we've ever seen, because whether he's going to stay at Villa or not, he's fighting for a move now, isn't he? Really, he's got to perform well now until Jan to get them suitors that are going to be weighing up, waiting for him to get that pre-contract agreement.
And in the Brazilian 11 that he wants to be in with the World Cup coming up.
Yeah, so I think we are going to see a really good version of Douglas Luiz, and I think then Donker gives us more stature, more profile, more height. I think that's a good move, putting him in that holder, and I think giving Kamara and a Luiz midfield. I've said it since Donker signed. For me, that's our strongest midfield three. I think it's got a bit of everything. It's got a bit of passing range from Luiz. It's got what I've just said about Donker, and then it just enables Kamara to just have that slight more freedom and flexibility with the way he plays. So, Hannah, front three, what are you going with?
Where to begin? I think the easy one for me is I'm keeping Watkins up top.
Yep.
I thought it was great on Saturday. Again, he didn't have a goal, but I just thought it's just his work rate, isn't it? You watch him and you think he's just trying so hard. He's trying so hard. And his hold up play was good. And he really did enable at times Bailey and JJ to push forward, because if you're against the City side like that was so suffocating on the ball, you needed that person who was going to get the ball up top and hold it and then lay the pass off, and that's what Watkins is good at. And at the minute he's not that natural finisher, which perhaps we thought we might get, but I think his all-round game is really good. So I wouldn't take him out. I think he's done more than enough for now to keep his position. Now, again, I think I'll keep Bailey in on the right, because he scored, and I think again, I didn't think he had an amazing performance up until the goal. I thought he did enough. I thought he ran his socks off, and that worked in his favour in the end, because he got himself a goal and it was a nice finish. Again, I don't think you take a player out when they've performed well. I think you reward them for it. So I'd keep him in. And if you ask his dad or his management, he is the best thing since sliced bread. So
scores every game.
Did you see his dad when he was cutting his grass? It's so funny.
I'm a bit scared. If I take him out, I might have Craig Butler at the door tomorrow. So I'd keep him in. Now it's this spot with Ramsey. For me, he's like a McGinn this season. I think last game he was decent. He got the assist and he was running up that side. But again, I don't think he's quite clicked, and I'm just not sure whether I like him in that spot yet. Maybe I need to see it a bit more, because obviously we've been used to him in a midfield three, but I think he was kind of pushed a bit further up. And I thought at points he was good, and at other points he didn't really do anything. So again, maybe controversial. I'm unsure on that. But have we seen enough that Buendia and Bailey can play in the same team? I don't know. For me, it's this spot that is the most difficult to choose in the whole side, because we're not playing with wingers. I'm not convinced on Ramsey. So I'd like a bit of a healthy debate here about what you guys think. I'm not sitting too much on the fence, but I genuinely would like to hear what you thought about Ramsey in that position.
When I saw the team sheet, I thought, what are we doing here? We're doing something a bit different, and I weren't sure whether it was going to work. But I actually quite liked it. I sort of got a little Grealish vibe from Ramsey. His progressive carries are very, very good. And I felt like we lack that sometimes. And with him in the side, I really liked it. I think it can sort of give us a little bit more nous in midfield as well, because he's, you know, he can come a little bit deeper. Like at times it could end up being a little bit like that. Do you know what I mean? So it becomes a 5 in midfield. I quite like that. But I just think at the minute it's one of them where it's sort of, it's a trial, isn't it? We gotta see how it goes. We've got to see how it pans out, because if we went with this again, we've got Coutinho and Buendia sat on the bench, and they're arguably two of our most creative sparks in the side on their day. And I think you lose that a little bit, don't you? But I think when we've seen them coming in, like everybody was calling for Buendia against Palace, he didn't offer enough, did he? And we looked really lightweight. So I think what I would say about Saturday, and keep going back to Saturday, the shape of the team was better. It was a lot more organised. We looked like we knew what we were doing. We were countering, so we looked more lethal on the counter, and we looked more solid. So do we go with this and see how it goes, as opposed to going back and reverting back to type with that sort of, is it Coutinho? Is it Buendia? Do we play the two together? Is it a Danny Ings and a Watkins up top? That's where I just feel like we're more solid like this. What
I
think the same. I think I've put Ramsey in my team because of the shape. I had a look through today of the average positions for the away games, and that position there where Ramsey is has been our Achilles heel. Bailey, you look at Bailey's position.
Like this half the time, hasn't it? You've had Bailey up there, Ings down here. The striker would be sat there, and it's not like that.
Either it's Buendia or Coutinho or Ings and Watkins too close to each other. Bailey's been very disciplined, and then you sort of, Watkins goes missing when they sort of gravitate towards the left and come a bit deeper. Watkins sort of follows, but on Saturday you've seen the shape perfectly executed, and I think the horrendous form that we've been on, we gained a bit more confidence, a bit more stability, and to break that up now again and try and be a bit more expansive, just because we're playing bottom of the league, I think we could come unstuck. You know, when Gerrard first came in, it was very tight, it was very compact, it was doing well, and then we had sort of had that international break, didn't we, where we tried to be a bit more expansive and go for it again, and it all fell apart. We lost 4 in a row, then we tightened it all back up, and we went on another good run, and we sort of lost it again. But Saturday was the perfect example of how Gerrard wants his system to work. And if everyone sticks to it, it's compact and it does force the people out wide. When you start to drop a bit deeper and get into other people's areas, that's where we get exploited. So I think as we're growing back in confidence, I think we stick to yes, we want to see Coutinho's magic, Buendia's magic, he's through balls, but I think just as we're starting to rebuild confidence, let's keep it tight, let's keep it compact, let's stay in the game, because Leicester are going to be up for it in front of the crowd against the Villa. They're going to want to beat us. So, if we can just keep that tight, and then as the game goes on, you're bringing Coutinho off the bench, you've got Danny Ings, you've got Buendia. If we could get our noses in front, you're bringing them off the bench, we could destroy them. Do you know what I mean? So, if they're 1-0 down and you see Coutinho coming off the bench, how's your confidence going to feel? So, I think, we try and keep it tight now.
Yeah, just a bit more solid in it. And I think it's an away day. But do you want to add anything on that, Hannah?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I think it's all these points. It's like, it worked, so we don't want to change it. But will it work every game? Was it just a one-off? Did he do enough? Was it Ramsey that helped the shape, or was it just the coaching? Was it just the mentality? And then it's like, how comfortable do I feel leaving both Coutinho and Buendia on the bench in a game that I feel like we should really be going for it? But then I completely get your point if we want to build on a good winning performance with a winning team. So that's why I kind of wanted the discussion. I'm still not convinced either way. I think I'm more than happy to see it stay the same and keep Ramsey in there. But if I do see Buendia chucked in, I won't probably complain either. But maybe that's a bit of bias. I don't think Coutinho has earned a spot yet, because I still think he looks low on confidence. But again, you need to play yourself into confidence. So it's like, It's that spot. That spot is the thing, the one to watch for me.
Yeah, this game on Saturday is as hard as Saturday's game against Man City because no one was expecting anything else. The players rolled their sleeves up and fought for each other, which was fantastic to see. And they stayed as a pack, didn't they? And they kept together. Now we're going to bottom of the league now, where we were supposed to go there and take control and you know, we should be going there to get the 3 points. So it's that's another challenge, is shift the mentality to, you know, defensive, keep solid, one and all, to go in there and saying, okay, we're going to attack and we're going to win. So it's just as a difficult game for us this Saturday as it was last Saturday, especially given the form we had before the Man City draw. So yeah, so. Cool. But we got like the next 4. I put a tweet out the other day. Next 4, we sort of got Leicester, Southampton, Leeds, and Forest. So if we could get a win on Saturday, then the confidence starts flowing, doesn't it? Then we can really get into the game because it's such a crucial period, and them games are difficult. I know on paper they look like we can win. A lot of people are saying 12 points, 10 points, but it all. I think our season starts on Saturday. If we can get that win, you know, I think we can really kick on then.
Definitely. Right, so we'll end it there. So this is our team. You can go and head over to our website. You can press that little blue tweet there, tweet it onto your social media pages as well. So let's see what you guys come up with at home. Thank you for everybody that's watching, supporting, subscribing, commenting. We absolutely love it. So we'll be back after the Leicester game. So let's hope it is a happy podcast and we're not back talking about the stuff we don't want to talk about. So actually, I'll get your 2 score predictions. So Hannah, what are you going with?
2-0 Aston Villa.
Okay.
2-0.
And Ryan?
Leicester City 1, Aston Villa 3.
We need a clean sheet.
I know. I want Martinez to have a clean sheet, to be fair. He needs a good night's sleep, doesn't he, mate? So, fuck it. 3-0. 3-0 to the Villa. Get a bit of Justin spirit in there, eh?
And anyone wondering where Justin is, he's ditched us and he's gone to the cinema. So, how dare he? Cool. So, we will see you after the Leicester game. Like, subscribe, and up the Villa.
Up the Villa.